Greetings, YouTubians. Welcome back for a new video. Had a couple weeks of being busy. Had some events coming up. Got those out of the way, so now it's some downtime now. Shout out to my first shout out goes to my new subscriber, Key Comics Watcher. Had the name screwed up the first time. Key Comics Watcher. Thanks for your subscribing and waiting your new stuff as usual. And you got some nice finds where you're from. So yeah, keep them coming, and I'll be watching. First shout out goes to my girlfriend. She kind of spoiled me a little bit, the same way I spoiled her a little bit. And she found some nice pops. She got me one, and she got a couple for herself. And yeah, those things are just an irresistible force. Now you can resist all you want, but it's very futile, as they say. So they do get your attention, and you do give in. They're so damn adorable, but they're really cool to get because they got so many different kinds. So her first ones, one of her first recent ones, she found a nice Stan Lee in the local store in Chicago. Since she was down there, she dropped in, and yeah, she found him there. She found that one for her, and she picked up Hulk from Endgame in the Quantum suit. That's number 2. I got myself Hawkeye from Endgame as Ronin, which is actually a really nice one. It's my favorite character, and probably my favorite scene in the whole film. But Hawkeye in the Ronin suit is just really cool. Really like that one. And I also picked up Black Widow for myself. In her quantum suit. And the next one is we finally found Thor in the quantum suit. This one was really kind of tough to get until we found it down in Palatine. It's a nice store down there too. Nice big roomy store. Finally found that one. That one was really nice to get. Recently picked up one of my favorites, and actually one of my favorite wrestlers of the modern era. She found Randy Orton. That was a nice one to get, closer to where she lives, and she found recently in the same store in downtown Chicago. She found Radioactive Man. That was really cool. That one really got my attention. I really liked that one. From one of the best episodes of The Simpsons they ever did. That was cool to find. And she found the Joker for me, which was a really cool one. I'm not sure if I posted this one before, but these are just really cool. This one is from this is the Jim Lee collection, the deluxe from Hush. This was from the Hush run that Jim Lee had done in Batman. Very, very cool to find that one. Didn't see any of those actually, and if I did, they were pretty rare. That you found one anywhere, and quickly becoming a jewel of my pop collection is the 80th anniversary Batman from 1938 or 39, I believe, when he first appeared in Detective Comics all those years ago. So this is quickly becoming a crown jewel of my pop collection. Really, really like that one. That was becoming a very quick favorite of mine. So many thanks to you, Muffins. I greatly appreciate it. that's in part one. Now we're on to part two. A lot of new pickups. Starting off on Mother's Day. Actually, starting off with my girlfriend's newest issue. So she's a big Iron Man head. I picked up issue 11 for her. It's a really cool cover. That one actually looks better than the alternate, in my opinion. Mother's Day, I took myself out to my local store and made some nice acquisitions. This isn't them. This is them. Of all things, I should have gotten this the first time, but I went back the week after, which was Mother's Day, and I found the very first issue of Hero Illustrated. Nice chrome cover. Interviews with Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, exploring the hype machine that the comic business had circa 1993, when it was just really starting to catch a lot of fire with all the Image books and all the hot creators and all this other kind of stuff. It was supposed to be the next big investment and things. It's always nice to travel back down memory lane to see that stuff and see how far it's come in 25 years. 25, 26 years. It's really nice to see how much it's evolved, good and bad. Some nice enlightening articles when you compare then to now, and all the good magazines are gone now. Ironheart number 5 first. Ironheart number 5. Riri's just so cool. I'm glad she's part of the Marvel universe. Ironheart number 6. Fantastic Four number 4. This is the alternate cover to that issue, and it's a pretty cool cover. I really like this one. It shows all the different spots of where the team hangs out and what they do, and what they do. It's pretty cool, and it's a pretty cool cover. That's a really cool cover. Marvel's annotated with this just incredible Alex Ross cover of Galactus standing over an apartment building in New York City at the time, and you can catch the emotion that he put into this cover of fear that some huge outer space being just comes down and he's essentially about to wipe out the planet. Definitely captures all the feeling in that cover. That would of course be your natural reaction to something like that, something to that magnitude. Just incredible. And a fantastic Dell'Otto cover, Gabriele Dell'Otto, fantastic, incredible painter from Italy, Italia, and just incredible cover of the alternate to Marvel's annotated number 3. That one's, I can't say enough about that cover. That's just an incredible cover. And then the original cover to Marvel's number 3. Glad I was able to find the version of it, and this has got to be one of the most recognizable covers of the series. And that, of course, is the virgin cover of the original number 3 from the original series. And Alex Ross, you just can't say enough about his ability to make these covers the way he does, and just do the painted panels and everything, the way just the process that he does and he takes to make those books the way they do, or the way they are. It just blows you away every time. Action Comics Weekly, number 626. It's a really cool Green Lantern cover. That one jumped out at me. And I got a soft spot for Action Comics Weekly. I'm a DC guy anyway, but they're I don't know, got a soft spot in there for those kind of weekly stories like that back then. 100 Bullets number 71. Really great series. Really good series. Glad I jumped onto it early when I did. I can always look for those early issues, but it's a good thing I jumped on it when I did. 100 Bullets number 72. And Dave Johnson just does some great covers. The story itself is usually, in that series, was usually really good. The story itself was just really good, but Dave Johnson did some fantastic covers. I'm a big fan of his work. Anytime I see a really cool cover of his, I try to find him and try to get him as much as possible, as long as it grabs my attention. But he does some really good covers. Of course, Naomi number 5. Highly anticipating the payoff when her miniseries is done, and hopefully she'll have, she'll play a bigger role in the DC universe, and hopefully she does. I think I got an idea of where it's going with her, and I hope it comes out where it's true. But yeah, I think they got big plans for her, and I like to see her in an ongoing series. She's a really good character too. It's a breath of fresh air. Savage Dragon. Now, Key Comics Watcher mentioned something to me about that particular issue that I hadn't noticed before. And even though that was, of course, probably a high print run back then, he noticed there were different colors in the title header on the cover. So I did manage to get 2, and I found a white cover, or a white title, and a blue title. Now, I had never noticed that before in the 20-something years that book came out. I never noticed that before until he happened to point it out. So that was a nice little fun fact. They're all first prints and everything, and they still count, of course, as first prints unless it says anything different. But that was a nice little nugget of info. I hadn't noticed that before. So thanks for the info. Palatine. The Palatine store had some nice stuff. A lot of nice recent DC issues. Most recent ones. And I don't know if they really knew that they were in the dollar boxes until, I was about to check out, and then we happened to mention that they were all in the dollar boxes. And these are relatively new issues that you find for a bargain like that, whether they knew it or not. And of course, when the stores make those mistakes, it's always good to capitalize as much as you can. We'll start it off with Flash number 55. This is a great cover to this one. 56. I do have the foil cover to number 56, which is just a fantastic cover, and I'm a sucker for shiny holographic covers. I always have been since I was young, since I first started, and that's a really good one though. Green Arrow number 44. That's a nice cover. That's the Kari Andrews cover, and Kari Andrews he's always done some nice work. Saw his earlier Spider-Man covers, I believe it was from the early 2000s. Got exposed to his art, and he's a fantastic painter. He's a fantastic artist. Teen Titans number 23. That's an interesting one, like the shade of purple in that one. Green Arrow number 45. It's also a nice, really nice foil cover. I cracked, gave in. I do believe this is my first Stanley Art Germ Lau cover, but yeah, I cracked and finally got an Art Germ cover. I might have another one in there somewhere. I probably didn't even realize it, but got an Art Germ Supergirl number 16. That's actually a really good one. It shows the charm and innocence of Supergirl. That's a really good cover. I do like that one. I'll admit that. That's a great one. Flash number 55. Cover A. That was that was an interesting cover. That's a good one. I'm looking forward to Flash because his ever since Rebirth, Flash has been one of the better DC books out there. Um, Green Arrow number 45. I do believe that's a Kari Andrews. No, it's not a Kari Andrews. Um, I don't recognize the signature, but that's a really cool ass cover too. Kind of reminds me of how you see Green Arrow in heaven after he died in the first series. Um, Justice League number 1 is the Batman cover, and got this one for $1 too, which was that was really surprising to find it in there. That's a fantastic cover. That was really cool, and probably my favorite out of the ones that we found in Palatine. Um, just a fantastic artist, and it's a shame he's no longer with us because his art is just really, really unique. It really always has been. I'd like to find his work in France, his French comics and his French graphic novels and things, just to study the art. I can read a little bit of French and I can say a few words and a few sentences, but or put a few sentences together. But just to look at the art is just incredible. Just a fantastic artist. His name is Mobius. That's his art name is Mobius. Um, and he did an Iron Man cover, and this cover really looks like it's more fine art than comic art. But of course, it is comic art. But it can easily have been fine art. Just a fantastic cover on this one. Just this one really. This is just an awesome book. This is just a really awesome book, and I'm really glad and really grateful we were able to find that one. And Muffin Berry gets credit for that one too. Um, Now the 50 cent books from 50 cent books from Palatine were the Question number 32, a really haunting cover. This one really got me. I like the character. The character is really cool. It's Steve Ditko creation. Should really read this one. This one it just goes so far under the radar. It's like it's a forgotten character. It's almost a forgotten book. That's a really, really cool cover to the Question. Adventures of Superman 500. This is the newsstand version, and I always like the green in this one. I always like the green in this cover. And traveling through the afterlife with Pa Kent, reliving his reliving his days on the front lines after Clark Kent's death or Superman's death, and he had his own brush with death. So they're both traveling through the afterlife together, and it's a pretty impacting story emotionally. 100 Bullets number 79. Again, Dave Johnson with his covers. I don't know how he does the things he does, but they're just awesome covers. Number 80. 100 Bullets number 80. Busy Cordova. She's one of the central characters in the series. She becomes one of the central characters in the story. Looks like she's about to handle some business. 100 Bullets number 81. 82. 86, 87, and 88. Almost finished with this run. Maybe about 25 or so issues left for me to finish that one and the whole story be complete. Really excited to be that close to finishing that one off. Action Comics Weekly number 617. It's a really cool Superman cover. Takes you back to, has that 1950s feel, faster than a locomotive, and that one really captures that. So I love the old bullet trains and the old super cheap trains from the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. I love those trains, and a lot of things about the art back then. Iron Man number 223. That was a really cool cover. That one jumped out at me. That one's going to my girlfriend. I'm not sure how much of a run she's trying to build, but any nice issues of Iron Man, then I'll pick them up for her. Ex Machina is another one of those interesting, just one of those really interesting stories, and it happened shortly after September 11th, about a year after. And it's got a really cool premise to it. Really cool premise, and the story, it's some steampunk, but modernized steampunk, if you will. And it's a gripping story. It really is a gripping concept. It's one to really add onto your list in the collected form if you can't find the individual issues or just not wanting the individual issues. It's a good series to pick up on. If you can find them anywhere. So we'll start off with number 3, Ex Machina number 3. Brian Vaughan and Tony Harris, they put together a hell of a series. Tony Harris just did some fantastic covers for these, and even the interior art, it's really impressive that he was able to do art, covers and panels. But he's done a lot of good work over the years. The Starman series is really good too. Ex Machina number 4. Was it on 4? Yeah, it was on 4. Number 7. And number 8. Number 25. Kind of got that World's Fair kind of look to that cover. That one really got my attention too. I really like that one. And number 50, final issue, Ex Machina number 50. It's the last issue of that series. I thought it went a little longer, but it's a nice number to end the series on, I think. And inside the machine, the creative process to the series, which I'm always interested in the creative process to various series like that. I'm always up for those. Those just always catch my attention. So I love to see how the story comes together, how the art comes together, the sketches and all the character designs. All that stuff is really cool. The behind the scenes stuff has always been great. And recent books, Flash number 70. I like this cover. This is the alternate, and to me, it's better than the than the standard cover. Actually, I really like this one a lot better. So thank you to Muffins for picking that one up too. And number 71. This one's just a dope ass cover. You can see you can practically feel the intensity off of this one. It's just that cover that pops out at you. Number 71. And I do believe that's it for this week. yeah, I think that's it. The pop binge at some point will continue. Actually, it'll probably continue by next month. There's a big sale at there's a big sale at the local store around here, not too far from me. At all the stores because they're chained, but they're a very good chain. I'll admit that. I'm not always too fond of chain stores these days. Not too many, but that one's definitely worth checking out. If you're visiting Chicago or you're gonna be within the area, you live within the area, drop in on them. Probably get some good stuff. Um, the sale will be coming up pretty soon, the next couple weeks or so. Um, and yeah, that'll do it. That's pretty much it. So thanks everybody for watching. As usual, again, thank you to all my subscribers, every single one of you. Uh, and extra shout out to Manny Mint, Manny NYC. He picked up a nice Bartman. A nice Bartman popped to counter my radioactive man. So that was pretty cool. It was cool he was able to find that one. It's one of the ones I was looking for actually, and it was cool he was able to find that one. So until next time, keep those eyes open.